Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and Chris Rock is trending for blasting the Democrats, and it's making some people upset online. But truth is, if you go through all the quotes, he's blasting everybody. He's blasting both sides, and he's blasting some truth. I wanted to share it with you guys so you can see the full context of what he's talking about. And to do so, I brought my Alfred, my man, producer behind the scenes, Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Andy? How you doing today?
Good to have you here. As you see, Chris Rock is trending. But before we get to that story, I want to make sure we're supporting. You got a cause coming up near and dear to your heart. Chris is doing a bunch of streams today through the weekend to help raise awareness and funds for auto-inflammatory conditions because it's Auto-Inflammatory Awareness Month, which is something that affects you, Chris. Please, I'll put the link in the description as well as the pinned comment. So go support my man Chris's cause here. It's important to him. It's important to me. But Chris, just real quick, what is this? What should people know about it?
So auto-inflammatory conditions are just really rare conditions that people are born with. I was born with one called familial Mediterranean fever, FMF for short. Actually, it's FMF day as well today. So I'm just trying to raise money for an organization overseas called FMF and AID Global Association, and they help patients all over the world who can't help themselves because the medicine for this can be very expensive and the treatment can be very expensive.
Yeah, so super good cause. Make sure you go support it. Support my man Chris. He supports this channel like no other, so show some love over there and you can. So happy to have you, Chris. Happy to promote. We'll be doing lots of streams. Tonight's Nerd Wars and stuff. We'll be mentioning this as well, so you'll have some opportunities, but make sure you go support. But today on Twitter, let's talk about a topic to get people talking, clicking, and then obviously hopefully supporting you at the same time. But he's been trending all over Twitter, and this has sort of been the take that the Washington Post and a lot of outlets are sort of running with, just leading with this fact that Chris Rock slams the Dems for our I gotta be careful of my keywords here, but this is what they're talking about. And so basically blaming the Democrats for everything. So, but this is an article that came from the New York Times, and I thought within the context of it all, it's important because I could see sides, political sides, using this as ammo, right, in the upcoming elections and things, and as they maybe should or could. But it's like the truth always lies somewhere in the middle, right? And so while we can blame one side, it's important, I think, that we as I try to do it, be very centered here in my politics. It's not a lot of people say being centered, Chris, is you're just sitting on the fence. No, I got strong opinions, but I have strong opinions against both sides, so I can't just align and follow one side. And I think that's the danger with a lot of people of just like, nope, I'm on this side of the fence. I got to defend no matter what I do. That's what I believe, only on this side of the fence. Like, no, there's so many issues. Politics are way more than just one specific issue. So I'm going to try not to wade into the politics of this all, but it's hard to do it fully. But Chris and I will get a little bit. The issue at hand that most people are talking about is this comment he does in a really fascinating article that I advise you read, talking about Fargo and a lot of stuff he's been doing. But it starts here saying, you performed at one of Chappelle's live shows in July. What was that like for you? When you're in clubs, you learn the rain crowd is the best crowd. Anytime it's raining, they really want to be there. The Bud Light crowd is really good because, dude, not only do they want to be there, there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to watch. Thank you. So he's sort of making a joke, clearly, and he's right. Like, obviously, anybody's dying to get out into these clubs to watch a show. So if you're watching Chappelle or Chris Rock, I'm sure as the first sort of real thing you're doing outside, you were probably losing your mind, just glad to be there. But he asked, what did you talk about in those shows? Well, we talked about our political whatever, America. Part of the reason we're in this predicament we're in, the president is a landlord. No one has less compassion for humans than a landlord. And we're shocked he's not engaged. Did you ever see that movie, The Last Emperor, where like a 5-year-old is the emperor of China? There's a kid and he's the king. And so I'm like, it's all the Democrats' fault. Because you know that emperor was 5 years old. And when the emperor is 5 years old, they only lead in theory. There's usually an adult who's like, okay, this is what we're really going to do. And if it was totally up to Pelosi and the Democrats, their thing was, we're going to get him impeached, which was never going to happen. You let this Bud Light come in. Yes, we can blame Trump, but he's really the 5-year-old. Put it this way, Republicans tell outright lies, but Democrats leave out key pieces of the truth that would lead to more nuanced argument. In a sense, it's all fake news. Now, look, this is being taken out of context to show him as sort of like, you know, blasting just the Democrats. But when you read in the context, he's blasting both sides, I think, pretty heavily, clearly calling our, you know, leader-in-chief a 5-year-old, which I think a lot of people who react to this article saying, yeah, Chris, you know, the supporters of our president will just immediately think he's siding with him, but he's not. He's he's calling out both sides here. So I think it's important you read this in context and not just read how the media is going to portray Chris Rock's comment. But look, the reality is I will share a little bit here. I agree with him, Chris. I think he's right. Both sides often get too distracted in their ways that they lost track. And his argument here that, look, why were we so focused on that when the reality was nothing was going to happen, whether you agreed with it or not. Clearly, nothing was going to happen. And so while all that was going down, a national emergency, all the resources were being used for that purpose, which I don't feel like they really did have enough evidence or proof to get it done. Again, whether you agree with it or not, it clearly wasn't going to work. And then while they were using all the resources, national emergency was really happening that no one was really paying attention to because we were so distracted. So look, you can blame a lot of people on this, I think. There's a lot of blame that can go to a lot of people. But for me, I think Chris Rock is dropping some truth here to sort of make us step back and realize we got to blame a lot of people. Chris, what do you think about this?
He's 100% right. Here's the thing about politics. It's two things: agendas and money. And the people that have the money make the agendas. And so it doesn't matter what side they're on. It's always about their own agendas. And Chris Rock is 100% right that the 5-year-old in the Oval Office, when he doesn't get his way, throws a temper tantrum. And the Democrats, when they don't get their way, they go on witch hunts. And I mean, we've seen it since, gosh, I don't know how long ago. I mean, the 60s. You look at McCarthyism and those red politics. That I won't say that word either.
Got to be careful of the words we use on YouTube. That's scary, but yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, definitely, I 100% agree with him.
Look, he's right on a lot of things. Honestly, go read the whole piece if you like Chris Rock or you like what he's sort of saying here and you want to hear the truth. Go talk to him. Go read the whole thing and listen to what he's talking about. But I wanted to pull out this portion too because obviously with the movements we're going through currently, race relations in America and across the world, you've been telling audiences for years racism isn't going anywhere and remains a potent force in America. Do you feel like you've seen circumstances improve at all? It's real. It's not going away. I said this before, but Obama becoming the president is progress for white people. It's not progress for black people. It's a Jackie Robinson thing. It's written like he broke a barrier as if there weren't black people that could play before him. And that's how white people have learned about racism. They think when these people work hard enough, they'll be like Jackie. And the real narrative should be that these people, the black people, are being abused by a group of people that are mentally handicapped. And while they're getting, we're trying to get them past their mental handicaps to see that all people are equal. Humanity isn't progress. It's only progress for the person that's taking your humanity. If a woman's in a bad relationship and her husband stops doing that to her, you wouldn't say she's made progress, right? But that's what we do with black people. We're constantly told that we're making progress. The relationship we're in, the arranged marriage that we're in, it's that we're getting hurt less. I mean, dude, That's I can't deny that, right? He's saying stuff there, and he always finds a way he can be so funny and so biting, but also so serious in a way that I do think he's a really, really well-spoken, smart guy, and tells us some amazing jokes too. But it's true, he did a whole special on Tambourine talking about the very issue that we're facing with this issue today that just everyone ignored. But now we are, but then we weren't. So this is an ongoing issue that I think people really do need to wise up and understand why it finally came to a head this year, and people are finally making a thing about it. And everything he's saying there, I can't deny it, man. I agreed. What do you think, Chris?
Being from Baltimore originally, he is not wrong at all. There is always going to be a divide. Always has been, always will be. Now, we're making progress, but the problem is we go back to those people with the agendas, with the money, and they're the ones that are going to decide how the policies go and
how much progress we will give.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they will impede the progress if they want to. Absolutely. 100% right.
Yeah, so look, it's a real thing that's going out there, and so anybody who's sort of seen this headline trending today, now you know what's really happening. But I love that he has no qualms and shares his thoughts. And you can't cancel Chris Rock. I feel like he's at one of those guys too, where it's like he's saying stuff that even if you disagree with him, people are going to support him. So I love that he's at a place where he can just keeps telling us stuff like this, and you can choose to ignore it, you can choose to disagree with it, or you can choose to follow and agree with them. So that's the full context of what's happening with Chris Rock. I think you will see a lot of headlines today about it. But in the meanwhile, if you want to do some good separately from all this, make sure you go support my man's GoFundMe today. Let's help him reach his goal to help fund some better research for auto-inflammatory conditions. It's a good cause. Again, I will put the link down in my pinned comment as well as the description. So support my man Alfred here for this cause and go raise some awareness. A lot of these smaller causes never get the attention they need because it's always focused on the big ones, but this is a real deal one that could use some attention. So let's help get Chris some attention for it. Chris, my man, thank you for being here. I will see you tonight for Nerd Wars.
Yes.
You can go see. They can go to your channel, right? The Planet of the Nerds. You're doing a whole stream for the next few days, right? So I'll put that link as well. They can watch you.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Bravo. Cool. Go subscribe to Chris, Planet of the Nerds. Thank you guys so much for watching here. Subscribe to Popcorn Planet. Lots more in store for you today, as well as live tonight, 9 p.m. for Nerd Wars and so much more. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.